Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a book haul. The majority of these books are used, which I love. I love buying used books. I also have two new books. They were gifts. So let's get into this haul. Some of these books I asked for like Christmas, and this haul specifically are books that are like not a part of a series. I guess one like is, but the rest of them are not, because I have a lot of unread books that are part of series, and I just realized that I do really like contemporary fiction or sci-fi or even horror that are just one book. And for my TBR game, I have almost only series. And sometimes I don't want to read only series in a month. I want to have options of standalone books. That's what I wanted, and that's how I came up with this list of books that I asked for, books that I acquired. So let's start off with two books that I have already read and I wanted certain editions of. And the first one being Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I own a copy of this that is very bright and colorful and hardback, and I love Frankenstein and would like to have this book in a few editions. And I've kind of thought it would be fun if every time I reread a book that I allow myself to buy it in another edition if there are editions that I like. There's so many cool editions of Frankenstein, and I just love the simplicity of this one. I like the green spine, and I like that it's small. I will do another reread of Frankenstein. I would like to have a smaller edition to read from because the hardback is really large. So this, I feel like, would be so much more comfortable to read from. And I mean, more than anything, I wanted another copy. This is really pretty. I'm really happy to have another edition. I went back and forth between so many, and this is the one that I chose. And the next book, right after I finished reading this, I was like, I have to buy a physical copy of this book, and that is Dracula by Bram. Look at this edition. I love the signature editions. Crime and Punishment in the signature edition is really pretty. And I feel like there's another one. Oh, Count of Monte Cristo is also really pretty in this edition, but look at this. I love this, and this just it just screams Dracula to me. We have some romance books, which are, I feel like I'm dabbling more into romance, but a specific kind of romance. I have a love-hate relationship with romance books. I do not like Colleen Hoover. So I bought some that I've had my eye on for a while. So the first one being Shark Heart. This is a love story by Emily Habeck. This Sid Bookworm read this, and I really like how she described it, and she liked this book. So I'm not going to read the back of all these books. I'm going to say what I'm pretty sure that they're about based off what I've seen other YouTubers say about these books. But this is about, it's a dystopian, I don't know if it's in the future, but a world, I think it is our world, but a dystopian version of it. Maybe it is in the future, but where people get a disease, a sickness, where they turn into an animal, and our protagonist is turning into a shark. And I think he's newly married, newly wed, and we're following three different perspectives, I believe. The wife, and then our protagonist who's turning into a shark. People will turn into different animals. And then the mother of the person turning into a shark. I think this is supposed to be pretty sad, and I think I would really like to hear the perspective of all three of these characters. So that's the first book I got, and it's in really good condition. The next one is Ripe. I think Sid Bookworm has recommended this. This, I don't know much about this book. This is about a woman who I think is struggling with just her corporate job, anxiety, depression, hopping from man to man, and it looks like she has an unexpected pregnancy and she's struggling with her job, and I think her like keeping the baby. I think this is just kind of about a woman struggling and trying to figure out her life. It says like she's working from paycheck to paycheck, and I think this book is about her just kind of really evaluating her life, what she wants out of life, and just trying to figure it out. Yeah, I really don't know a lot about it, but I love the cover. I mean, this cover is so cool. And I've been curious about this book for a while, and it's in really great condition. So that's the next book I got, Ripe. I really hope I like this. The next one, I think Sid Bookworm also recommended this one, and B.E. Schwab has a little quote on the front, "I devoured this" by B.E. Schwab. Now this is an example of one that's pretty beat up. It looks like water damage, but it's fine. This is The Book Eaters by Suni Dean. There are people that, in order to live, they eat books. Oh, eating a map can help them remember destinations. If children misbehave, then they have to eat musty pages. There's a woman who's raised on the diet of fairy tales. That's so interesting. But I think if they don't eat books, then they eat brains. I think it's like one or the other, something like that. And our protagonist, the mother, her son is eating brains. Like that's what he needs to survive. So she's trying to protect him and figure out how to like feed him when he's not hungry for books like everyone else is. And I think this is going to be so interesting. Like this concept sounds fascinating to me. I think this is going to be super interesting. I think it's a really cool cover, even though it's a little bit beat up. But I've also been curious about this for a long time. Sid Bookworm really liked this, so this is the next book I got. I also love that these are all shorter books, because fantasy books typically are not very short, at least the ones that I'm reading. So I like that I'll have options of like these shorter books to add to TBR. This next one was recommended by Jack Edwards and Leah Crumpet, but I saw it in Jack Edwards' video first. He's the YouTuber that does all the interviews with celebrities, asking them what their required reading would be. Those videos are really interesting. But he recommended in a video that was like, if you are like top recommendations from him of like, you should read this book, like it was a really cool video. But he recommended, and I think they were like all love stories, I think. Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. And honestly, the synopsis doesn't give us very much, which I kind of like. But I think I think they only meet like a few times. And it like changes their lives, these like meetings that they have, or like discussions that they have. I've just heard it's really good. I don't want to know anything about it really, but I'm so excited to read this. When he recommended it and how he described it, I knew I was going to read it. And then when I saw Leah Crumpton also say that it was really good, I think she read it last year and was recommending it. I was like, oh, I for sure need this book. So that's the next book. Very pretty cover. Okay, this next book is an example of one that I would not typically see at a bookstore and pick up. But Leah Crumpton recommended this, and I think this sounds really good. I'm just not a fan of like covers that look like this. But this is about a woman who died, Daphne, and when she gets to, I'm not gonna read the back. I think when she dies and goes to the afterlife, she is given a chance to go back to to Earth. Like she's kind of like in between the spaces of like alive and dead. She's given a chance to go back to Earth to find the love of her life, her soulmate. So I think if she finds her soulmate, then she can stay alive, and if not, and she has like 3 days, like in the whole world she has to find her soulmate, and if she doesn't in 3 days, then she's like for sure dead. I think that's what this is about. Colleen Hoover has a quote on the front. Ugh, don't like that her name is on here. But when Leah Crumpton talked about this and how much she loved it, I really wanted to read it, and I don't, like I said, I don't like this cover. It's so like bright and like happy looking. I'm just hoping it's not silly. I don't think it's supposed to be, because how she described it didn't sound silly, but I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll hate it. But this is the next book, Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. The next romance book is one that I feel like I've seen in like Target for a really long time and just never picked it up. This is actually a very pretty cover. It's, and I had like a free book. If you like bought 3, then you got 1 free, and I saw this and was like, oh, this actually sounds kind of interesting. It's not, again, one that I like heard people recommend or have seen multiple times and like wanted to buy, but it's In 5 Years by Rebecca Sherrill. Look at the foil is like really pretty. This looks like it was not read. But this is about our protagonist, Danny, who she just got an interview at her dream job, I think, and she accepts her boyfriend's proposal of marriage. And then she wakes up 5 years in the future. Oh, she spends 1 hour 5 years in the future before she awakens again in her own home. But it's an hour she cannot shake. So it's like what changed in 5 years that will now affect her present. So I think this sounds really good. I love like time travel, and you know, maybe in 5 years she's not engaged to that same guy, or maybe she has a kid in 5 years or something, and how is that gonna change how she lives today. So that's the next book. I'm really excited about this book, and it wasn't even like on my radar. Next we have non-romance books. I don't think these have any romance. And I mean, if they do, then they're definitely like a subplot. But this one is, I think, actually a non-fiction, which I didn't know. But it's Why Fish Don't Exist. I didn't think this was non-fiction. And in the front it says, a story of lost love and a hidden order of life. I think this is supposed to be really sad, and like, why are we here, why do I exist kind of feeling. I really like the cover. I'm really interested. I mean, I'm interested to read all of these books. This is one that I've had saved on Pinterest and kept thinking like, I really want to read this book. It has illustrations. I've never picked this up in a bookstore. Oh, that's creepy illustrations. I don't know. I very curious. It sounds really good based on like what people like said about it. What in the world? This looks like a horror. But this is the next book I got, and was really glad that I was able to get the second hand. I really thought she was gonna fall asleep like half an hour ago. I guess you just want to hang out, huh? You want to see me talk about my books? Oh, my foot fell asleep. The next book Leah Crumpton also recommended. I really trust her. It was Severance by Ling Ma. She recommended this a long time ago, but it's like post-apocalyptic. There's like not even a blurb on the back or the front page, but it says, is it the end of the world or just another day at the office? There's a show on Prime, I think, called Severance, and I'm wondering if it's based on this book. I haven't watched it, but I love the cover. I love the pink, and I feel like I've just heard for a long time that this is a good book, and was really glad again to find it used. I don't know much about this other than I think there are zombies in this, but I could be wrong. And I'm just really excited to find out what this is about. The next book is recommended by a newer YouTuber that I follow. I don't remember her name. Andrea? If I remember to put it on the screen, I will. But this is like one of her favorite books ever, and she only had good things to say about it. Now, I do not like this cover. I don't like the original cover of this book either, but I did see a new cover in Barnes & Noble. At least I think it's new. And I liked that cover, but I was just like, it's fine. I'm just gonna get this. This is not the worst cover ever. And I have not seen the movie. I did not even know that this is a movie. But this is Never Let Me Go by Kazu Ishiguro. I probably butchered that. This isn't the worst cover. There are covers that I think are worse. I don't really like the one where it's like a face and there are lines. Even though that's like the style of a lot of his book. They all have like white lines on them. This says a meditation on morality and the loss of innocence. Childhood dreams can lead to disillusionment. I also think this is supposed to be really sad. This is a Booker Prize finalist. I've also been interested in The Remains of the Day by this author, but I want to read this one first. I have read another book by this author, Clara and the Sun, which I did like and actually think I would like it more now. But this is the next book. She said it's like favorite book of all time, so I was really curious to get this. And this is like so sun faded. Like, it's pretty it's not in the best condition, but it's what's on the inside that matters, especially if you buy it used. But I think this is the cover for like the movie, which is not bad because like it could be worse. I feel like a lot of covers that have the movie covers I do not like, but I was like, this doesn't look terrible. I cannot believe she's still awake. You might hear her little toy. That's okay. The next two books are new books. This first one I've picked up in Barnes & Noble and have not purchased, and I don't know why I didn't. And that is Bunny by Mona Awad. I can't wait to read this. This is supposed to be like weird, kind of culty. These girls are like doing experiments, creating things, and this is dark academia. I cannot wait to read this. I love the cover, and I've already read a Mona Awad. I read one last year and really liked it, and actually do want a physical copy of Rouge. And so I'm confident I'm gonna like this, and I feel like everyone who doesn't like Bunny, everyone loves Bunny. So I can't wait to read this. My brother got me this and actually wrote a really sweet note on the inside. So sweet. So I'm glad I wanted a physical copy of this book. I could have read it on Libby, and I was like, I don't want to read it on Libby. I know I'm gonna love it. I want a physical copy, and now I have like a note inside. So I want to keep it forever. So curious. I can't wait. Oh, she's falling asleep. And the last one, which I cannot believe I have not read and has not been spoiled for me, but I have to read it before the movie comes out, and that is Sunrise on the Reaping. The Hunger Games are my favorite books ever, so, and I feel like we have wanted this for so long. So glad that it exists. Everyone says that they like cry while reading this. I think it's gonna be so good. I'm so nervous to read this because like I know I'm gonna love it, and I'm like, but do I want to know? Do I want to read it? Do I want my heart broken? I think it's one of those books that you just know you're gonna love, so you kind of avoid it. Like I know that's why I haven't really like read it yet. But I also wanted a physical copy because I could have listened to it, and I was like, I do not want to listen to it. I did listen to A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I think that's what it's called. I did not feel as emotionally like attached to that book. I like it. I think the movie was really good, and I'm glad it exists. But I like avoided reading that book because I was just like, I'm not gonna like it. There's no way that this is gonna be good. You know, I loved The Hunger Games. I was like, this is just another like book just to make money. I was very actually like annoyed by that book coming out. And then when I finally read it because the movie was coming out, I was like, okay, I want to read it first. I did like it, but I don't feel like it's like like I think that how this one's gonna feel. I think I'm gonna like love this one. So I can't wait to read this, but I'm also so nervous. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to read this in March. I don't know when the movie comes out actually. I know it's this year, but I don't think it's in March. So this is the last book that I got, and here is my stack. I feel so blessed that I could get these books and that some were like gifted to me. I'm so excited about all of these. And I love that they're all standalones, that they're all shorter, and for the ones that I've already read, I'm just glad I have a copy of them to display. So yeah, I can't wait to have these in my TBR videos, but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And yeah, so excited. Thanks so much for watching my haul video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.